Hello everyone, I am Alok Kumar from group number 43. I am going to present understanding of research paper VideoMAC. I'll be briefly covering the introduction part, some challenges and how these models overcome these challenges. So let's start. These days, masked language modeling revolutionized natural language processing, and inspired by that, masked image modeling or MIM took the computer vision world by storm. Today, we explored how these ideas is evolving further with a powerful new approaches to video representation learning. Vision transformers (RVIT) has been centered to MIM, where parts of the images are masked and the model learns to recover the missing information. This teaches the model to form rich visual representation. Naturally, this idea evolved into MVM or masked video modeling for learning from the video data. But here's the catch. MVM models, especially those that are based on ViTs like MAEST and SAM-MAE, shows excellent result when fine-tuned. Without fine-tuning, they often perform worse than image-based models. Even worse, they lag behind supervised models. So what's going wrong? What's going wrong? Well, most of the MVM approaches rely heavily on ViTs. These transformers are isotropic, meaning they treat all patches equally without any built-in hierarchy. And while these works in theory, but it fails to capture local spatial features effectively, features that are essential for tasks like segmentation or object tracking. Plus, VITs are computationally expensive. Their uniform architecture doesn't scale well to large videos or real-time tasks. That's where convolutional neural network comes in. They are lightweight, hierarchical in by nature, and great at local feature extraction. But oddly, they are largely ignored in MVM. So introducing VideoMAC. To bridge this gap, researchers introduced VideoMAC, first successful masked video autoencoder built purely on convolutional neural network. Unlike VIT, it leverages hierarchical architectures like convolutional next V2 and ResNet for efficient and effective video modeling. VideoMAC outperforms transformer-based methods on key benchmarks like DABIS17 for video object segmentation, VIP for body part propagation, and JHMVD for human pose tracking. Now let's talk about the key ideas used in VideoMAC. The first one is applying convolutional neural network to MVM is not straightforward. Traditionally, convolutional neural network uses thin sliding windows which can leak information to masked regions. VideoMAC solved this problem by using sparse convolution, preserving the integrity of the masked region. Second one is what about time? VideoMAC cleverly incorporates spatiotemporal learning using just two frames. It introduces a new training strategy with a reconstruction consistency loss, aligning frame-wise reconstruction to learn motion and object continuity. Now the third one is the model uses an online network update with gradients and a targeted network update via exponential moving average, making the learning stable and consistent. So summarizing the key idea, we have first one is sparse convolution masking for preventing the leakage. Second is frame pairing training and reconstruction consistency loss for temporal structure and motion learning. The third one is EMA based dual network that improves the stability and temporal coherence. Now coming to the result part. It outperforms VIT based models such as MAEST and SAM-MAE. We can see the result in the right side. For video object segmentation, it outperforms VIT based model by 5.2 to 6.4 J and F index. For body part propagation, it outperforms the VIT model by 3.1 to 6.3 MIOU index. And for human pose tracking, it outperforms by 10 PCK, which is percentage of correction key points at a threshold of 0.1. All of these techniques that are used in VideoMAC will be discussed by my different teammates at the later part of the video. Thank you from my side.
Hi guys, my name is Mario Kondawar and my role number is B21016 and I'm from group number 43. I'll be talking about the related work. Coming to related work, first is masked image modeling, which is inspired by masked language modeling in an NLP, example BERT. The key idea of masked image modeling is that it masks a part of an image and reconstructs to learn the representations. Prominent works includes FCMA and Spark. Self-supervised learning has been rapidly developing in computer vision, demonstrating substantial potential for deriving valuable representation from the extensive and unlabeled datasets. A key advantage of SSL is its independence from costly human annotations, thereby providing robust prior knowledge across various visual tasks. The success of masked language modeling in NLP has catalyzed a rising interest in masked image modeling for visual pre-training. This strategy involves masking or corrupting a portion of information within an image and then requiring the model to recover the masked portion, encouraging the model to learn useful image representations, notably pioneering works. I have recently applied convolution nets to MIM pre-training, paving the way for making modeling methods based on convolution nets. Moving on to mass video modeling. Mass video modeling is an extension of MIM to videos. It learns the spatio-temporal representations. Most existing models approaches rely on vision transformers (VITs). Notable VIT-based models are MAST, Video MA, Drop MA, SIM, CM, and MA. Recently, researchers have embarked on exploring MVM approaches to comprehend unsupervised video representations, exhibiting effectiveness across a multitude of downstream tasks. However, current MVM methodologies primarily depend on the isotropic VIT, a visual backbone compatible with masking modeling. Furthermore, these VIT-based MVM strategies may encounter challenges with inadequate local feature modeling when dealing with dense tasks such as segmentation and detection due to their non-hierarchical structure. To the best of our knowledge, no MVM approaches are explicitly designed for hierarchical network based architectures, especially convolution nets. It is worth noting that while the isotropic VIT is well suited for the implementation of MVM methods, this is exceptionally difficult for convolution nets. In this paper, uh, our VideoMAC is committed to developing an efficient video pre-training tool that can equip convolution nets with superior or at least comparable performance to VITs. Moving on to the approach. Moving on to the approach. Our VideoMAC builds upon MAE and pioneeringly facilitates mass video modeling with a purely convolutional architecture. VideoMAC is designed to reconstruct mask patches, which are randomly and symmetrically masked on frame pairs at a high masking ratio, around 0.75, zero point 0.8. The framework achieves such reconstructions by exclusively delivering visible patches to both the online and target encoders. In this section, we describe its main components in detail. Moving on to the limitations in existing MVM approaches, there are lack of hierarchical structure limits for local featuring modeling. It is very resource intensive. VIT large model 1600 to 2000 training epochs are needed. Underexplored role of convolution nets despite their efficiency and strong inductive biases. They are rarely used in MVM prior to VideoMAC. Moving on to the preliminaries. Recently, mass encoders introduced a novel methodology to domain of self-supervised visual representation learning. The primary process involves training a model to reconstruct masked areas in an image whose contents are partially occluded. The fundamental architecture of a standard MI model is composed of three core elements: the masking design, an encoder, and a decoder. In mathematical terms, given an image I, which belongs to 3 cross H cross W. The MA model patchifies I into n distinct non-overlapping patches represented by I cap, each with a size of P. Masks are randomly applied to subset of these patches denoted by the subset mu. The encoder FE processes the visible patches mu, uh, producing latent representation that are represented as z equals to f of mu. Then the decoder FD attempts to restore the mask subset utilizing the latent representation, generating generating O is equals to f of z mu. Moving on to novelty of VideoMAC. First method is to apply the pure convolution nets in MVM. This uses a sparse convolution to maintain mask integrity, and it also introduces reconstruction consistency losses to capture temporal relationship. VideoMAC revisits convolution nets for video pre-training, challenging the ViT dominant paradigm with strong efficiency and accuracy gains. Thank you.
Yes, so hello everyone, myself Athar Kumar, roll number B21038, and I'll be discussing about the approach of video MAC, how video MAC works, what is the methodology of video MAC, the architecture it follows, the loss function it follows, etc. So let me just move on with the architecture design of video MAC. So this is the architecture design of video MAC. This is an illustration of video MAC for coordinate based MVM, where during pre-training we mask 75% of the symmetric patches from the two frames randomly. In our video MAC, the MVM of frame pairs is achieved by an online network optimized by gradients, where we have been using three types of losses. First type of loss is online loss, second type of loss is target loss, and third type of loss is reconstruction consistency loss. Okay, so let me just discuss about how the architecture works. First of all, we have been taken two frame pairs. Then we use masking on both of them. Note, we use symmetric masking. What does symmetric masking exactly means is the patch location masked over here in this frame and the patch location masked over here in this frame is equivalent, or they are at the same location. Then the masked image, the masked frame, is sent to MAC encoder, where we have been using two types of encoders, which is online mask and online MAC encoder and target MAC encoder. We have been using sparse convolution layers in both the MAC encoders. Further, the main difference between online and target encoder is the MAC encoder, the weights are updated using backpropagation, whereas in the target MAC encoder, the gradient, this is the backpropagation is stopped and the weights are updated using EMA, okay, which is exponential moving average. Then this latent vector is passed to the MAC decoder, which is trained, and then we get our final reconstructed frame pair which in which our final reconstruction consistency loss is computed. And further, at last, our LC, which is the final reconstruction loss, the L0, which is the online loss, and the LT, which is the target loss, both three are combined to produce our total loss, and then this total loss is optimized. Okay, further let me discuss the key components of video MAC. First of all, there is masking. We use masking. Further, two consecutive video frames are done with symmetric masking. This is the two video frames have been doing symmetric masking, whereas in same patch position both the frames have been masked. Note, we have been using a high masking ratio of 75%. The main reason for doing it is, first of all, in the masking of image case, there is a high data redundancy, whereas in case of languages, information like languages, the data redundancy is not very much high, but in case of images, and especially in masking of images, data redundancy is very high. Further, we have been doing analysis and we have been doing through experimentation. It has been proven that high masking ratio gives us better results. Talking about the MAC encoder, we have been using two types of encoders, which is our online encoder and the target encoder. The online encoder is trained via backpropagation, whereas the target encoder is updated using EMA, exponential moving average. Note, we have been using sparse convolution operators to avoid information leakage. There are three main goals of MAC encoder. First is to reduce computational power. This is to increase computational efficiency, maintain the structural integrity of the image or the frame, and the third is that the masking of dissipation which occurs using hierarchical, when we use hierarchical convolution, it decreases. So we want to minimize mask dissipation using hierarchical convolution, which happens. Further, MAC, the structure of MAC encoder is like 224 cross 224. Further is desampled to 56 cross 56, then 28 cross 28, and then 14 cross 14. Okay, talking about the MEC decoder, it is not very much computationally expensive, but we use lightweight convex block, and it is a one block designed with 512 dimensions for speed and efficiency. Okay, so now let me discuss about the loss function, all the losses which VideoMAC uses. First of all, this is patch-wise reconstruction loss, in which the loss is computed only on masked patch to avoid trivial training. Two types of losses are here. This is on the online loss, in which I1 and O1 is being using MSE, is being the mass is computed between I1 and O1, and using MSE the loss is computed. Further, the target loss, it computes I2 and O2, between I2 and O2, and the the target loss is computed using MSE. We have been using MSE, basic MSE. Further, reconstruction consistency loss, in which we assume that there is a temporal consistency between the consecutive frames, and it basically encourages the alignment between the reconstructed patches. Okay, so this is the we have been again using the MAC for the same, which is O1 and O2, that both the two reconstructed frames we are considering, and we have been finding the alignment between the two patches, and assuming the temporal consistency. Reconstruction consistency loss tells us how much close both the patches are. Okay. Further, the total loss is the sum of all the following, which is L0, which is online loss, LT, which is target loss, and gamma LC, which is the reconstruction consistency loss. What is gamma? Gamma is a weight factor which we want to give to the loss function so as to give best results to us. In short, these three things, the loss functions combined with the architecture, have increased the computational efficiency. It not only increases the computational efficiency, but also encourages us to reconstruct better images, reconstruct better videos. Okay, so that's all with the architecture and the approach part. Next, my teammate will be discussing about the implementation part. So thank you everyone, and yes, so I'll invite my other teammate to continue with the implementation part. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Narendra from BTech third year DSC. My agenda is to cover the topics of implementation and pre-training, the downstream task and comparison with previous methods and qualitative results. Firstly, we come to implementation. The VideoMAC framework is designed for flexibility and efficiency. The architecture here we used, firstly we took two convolutional networks for our experiment. Those are ROSNet and ConvNets. Next, V2 and RN50 and CNXP 2-S. Those are served for primary experimental model. Here, decoder uses a simple convex block for avoiding complex designs. During pre-training, the encoder uses a sparse convolution via the Monkey's engine library. Importantly, those spare convolution layers can be converted back to standard convolution layers for downstream tasks. Then we come to pre-train. Pre-train on large scale of K400 dataset and video MAC pre-train on YouTube VOS YT18 dataset for only 100 hours. This significantly reduces the pre-training time by 140 times. During video MAC pre-training, the standard input comprises two frames with spatial size of 24 cross 24 pixels. The frame interval is 1 here. Here we use minimal data augmentation and masking ratio is 0.75. The here we use Adam optimizer, the batch size of 512 and the learning rate is 2 2e-3, and to adjust the learning rate we use cosine decay. After that we come to downstream task. Video image effectiveness and video representation learning, it's evaluated on three main video tasks. Those are video object segmentation, body part propagation, human pose tracking. Then we can compare with previous methods. Firstly, video object segmentation. In that video object segmentation, we use the Device 17 dataset validation of 30 validation set of 30 videos. Here, methodology allows previous work reporting matrices like mean region similarity, mean boundary accuracy, and then their averages. Even with smaller video training dataset, YT18 favor epochs of 100, CNXP2-S and RN50 get the 6.4% and 5.2% respectively. It's also unsupervised method. It's improved 2.4 to 1.4% respectively. ConvNet. It's a hierarchical feature extraction capabilities allow video MAC to better extraction spatial information compared to MVM methods. Then body part propagation evaluated on video instant tracing VIP dataset. It's a validation set of 50 videos focusing focusing on propagation 15 19 body parts 19 body parts. This video frame adjusted by 560 cross 560 dimensions. CNXP 2-S and RN50 show improvements 3.1% and 3.6% respectively compared to top performing MVM method to CAM methods. The RN50 based on model outperformed CNXP2-S and the dataset. This is attributed to RN50's higher dimensionality features 2000, 2048 versus 768, which benefits complex tasks, improve mask propagation accuracy. Human pose and tracking. Human pose tracking evaluated on JHMDB dataset validation set of 268 videos detecting 15 human key points. The protocol allows resizing the frame 30 320 cross 320 using the feasibility correct points PCK matrix. Both video MAC variant RN50 and CNXP2-S outperform all MVM methods in terms of PCK at the rate 0.1 and PCK at the rate 0.2 as shown in the table 1. The qualitative results. Here we can see the both three of plots of the task. Thank you.
Hello all, I'm Hrutin, a BTech third year student currently pursuing my degree in civil engineering. Let me present this work on video MAC, efficient video masked autoencoding with ConvNets. In this video, let me present the important variation to both architecture and training models that make video MAC efficient and useful for video masked autoencoding. Coming to the encoder design, instead of using a similar isotropic design like vision transformers, here video MSC utilizes a hierarchical convex structure. Although convexes have a lower image resolution, 7x7 instead of 14x14, they still keep important multi-scale details and perform much better as a result. And also it demonstrates how important convexes are to capturing the order of importance in visual elements in video. And coming to the encoder backbone, VideoMAC integrates both classical resonates and modern convolutions. Also, we replace dense convolution with sparse convolutions, which better preserve the structure of the input mask. This change allows effective integration of MAE style pre-training into convolutions, bringing them closer to the transformer style learning benefits. And also, then coming to the decoder design, VideoMAC uses a simple convolution structure inspired by ConvNext. Through ablation, we find the decoder with just one block and 512 dimensions strikes the best balance between performance and computational efficiency. This minimalistic design still delivers competitive results. And now coming to the masking design, asymmetric with asymmetric. VideoMAC compares asymmetric masking where different frame regions are masked to symmetric masking, where the same regions are masked across the frames. Symmetric masking performs better because it simplifies the reconstruction loss calculations and includes more masked areas, leading to faster convergence. And finally, coming to the results, here we can see that YT18 vs K400 training data set was this would I mean here we can see that YT18, which is a smaller data set, results in better performance JNF of 68.4 compared to K400, which gives a JNF of 67.8. And coming to augmentation, here we compare spatial vs color. Spatial only augmentation gives best results. As we can here we can see JNF we got 68.4, and by adding color the JNF becomes less. I mean the which makes the adding color decreases the performance. And coming to the gap, which tells us the frame distance between inputs. Here with gap 1, outperforms, like the output will be performing longer frame gaps, like, and it gives temporal closeness aids consistency. And uh, coming to model loss, we can see uh, like the contribution of each loss, like we can get the contribution of each loss using both LT target and LC consistency improves performance dramatically. Like as you can see, JNF will be 68.4 to 71.4. And coming to the reconstruction consistency, we can identify the impact of gamma here. Like when y is equals to 1 yields the best consistency loss effect, lower y reduces the performance. As you can see, uh, as the y, which is also known as gamma, reduces as increases, the JNF value goes on increasing. And coming to the masking ratio, how much of the input is masked, we can see here. Peak performance is at 0.75 because as you can see, too little or too much masking decreases the performance. If the masking is too low,
Hello everyone. In this section of the representation, I will walk you through key ablation studies on the VideoMAC model, focusing on how data choice, data augmentation, and frame gaps influence the performance. So we began with the dataset by comparing two widely used videos dataset. One is YT18 and other is Kinetic 400 K400. As per the above slides, table 4a, the performance difference between YT18 and K400 was just 0.6%, and in pre-training on YT18 yields better performance than K400, a slightly head. So this minimal gap highlights the robustness of VideoMAC across different data source. It adapts well trained on YT18 or K400. In the second part, data augmentation, we explored different augmentation techniques on this data. The best result was we achieved is using spatial only augmentation, especially random resized cropping and horizontal flipping. The temporal augmentation, which might seem helpful, actually introduce instability. So that VideoMAC learns better when we present the natural temporal flow, just the spatial appearance. In the frame gap, we perform an on the frame gap, which is the distance between the sampled frames. As per above results, the optimal setting was a gap of one consecutive frame. This makes sense. Consecutive frames contains rich, fine-grained temporal information. Larger graphs may miss the details. So, in the loss function, a key innovation in VideoMAC is its dual loss strategy. First one is target loss, and second one is consistency. We use it to separate encoders only with EAM updates. LT and LC boost performance by 12.3% and 9.5% respectively. So by the impact of weight factor gamma varies from 0 to 1. At 0, gamma may be, means the value of gamma is 0, the consistency loss is less. Show that at gamma around 1 gives the best result. So LC isn't optional. And lastly, we examined the masking ratio analysis in the pre-training model by the above table, increasing with masking until a certain points, but drops gradually at 0.95 due to overfitting model on the data. So aggressive masking can hurt generalization even in self-supervised setup. Thank you. And finally, this is a reconstruction visualization using a pre-trained VideoMAC model with 0.75 masking ratio. These frames are randomly selected from the validation set. Thank you.